Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Trying something new. This is Q&A with Noah. And what I did is I reached out on a couple of our social media platforms, and I just said if anybody has any questions, doesn't matter what it is, no topics off limits, I would love to answer any questions. And this is all pretty new to me, and I'm just starting to shoot these videos, and actually wasn't too happy with the first couple videos I shot. One, I shot them vertically instead of horizontally like I am now, and my sister said, Noah, if they're only going on YouTube, shoot them horizontally. And so I am. So that's step one in making my videos better. Also, I've been watching a lot of YouTubers, and wow, there is some impressive videos out there, and it really made my initial videos, feel this big. And Morgan stressed, I wanted to delete them, and Morgan stressed to me, Noah, it's the content, it's not the quality. But I think she was just trying to make me feel better, because I think quality is important too. So here's me trying to do better. I hope you guys enjoy it. So the Q&A. So I got a list of questions that people requested. So everyone who requested, thank you. I appreciate you for getting involved in the conversation, and being curious about not only my life but the life of a recovering addict who recently got out of prison. So first question, do I ever fear relapse? And of course, it would be ridiculous for me not to fear relapse, because I've been an addict for so long. Now, do I think a relapse is going to happen? No, but I also didn't think I was going to prison, and that happened. So my recovery has taught me that I need to be prepared for anything. And as long as I keep working my program, as long as I keep hanging out with positive people that are going to keep me moving forward and aren't going to try convince me that it's okay to have a drink, or it's okay to just do anything that's going to go against my recovery. So as long as I keep living my program, then I don't think a relapse is going to happen. But if a relapse does happen, I also need to understand that that's okay too, and I need to just keep going back and doing my program. It doesn't mean my program's done with me. I can still go back to the meeting and be honest and be vulnerable. And if I have a relapse, I'm going to tell you guys. You'll be one of the first ones to know. And then from there, it's all about getting back on track. So it's okay if you screw up. It's not what you want to happen, but it's life, and life happens. So thank you for that question. Next question. My daughter's mom. Yeah, baby mama questions. This reader wants to know, do we have a good relationship? And me and Dakota absolutely have a good relationship. The thing with me and Dakota, who's Melrose's mother, is we were friends first, and we dated for a very short period of time. It was about a year off and on. It wasn't the most healthy relationship, and early on I blamed her for a lot of this stuff. And now that I'm in recovery and I'm looking at my part, because my program teaches me to take away her part, look at my part, and wow, I recently went through step 4, which is looking at my part, and I was a piece of crap. So Dakota, if you're watching this video, I am very sorry. I was not a good person. I was not a good influencer. I was an enabler. I played a big part in the way your life turned out as well. But my kid's mom's doing great now. She's also in recovery just like me. She's got years of sobriety and clean time behind her, and she's doing really good. So she works the program. She leans on her faith, and she's got a solid man in her life that lifts her up and doesn't pull her down like I did back in the day. So as far as my kid's mom, we have a great relationship. Co-parenting my daughter, it's just based on communication, and we don't fight about who has her this weekend or who's going to get her this weekend. Dakota's had her for the last month now because they're out visiting Grandma Debbie in Wyoming. So that's cool. Take her for a month. She's with me and my mom for the majority of the school year, and yeah, me and Dakota have a great relationship, and I'm so thankful to be going through this journey with someone like Dakota to co-parent with. So yes. Next question. How has your recovery been going? Recovery is the saying is one day at a time. And there's so many cheesy sayings. Keep coming back. It works if you work it, one day at a time. And at first they just kind of sound ridiculous and cheesy, but the further you get into your program, they're so true. Because it's all about keeping it simple, just like it's just keeping a workout routine, keeping a nutritional routine, keeping a recovery routine is important to keep it simple, because as soon as you get so complex and you put so much on your plate, you're going to get overwhelmed and you're not going to want to follow through with it. If you keep it simple, you don't have the anxiety behind it, and it's something you can stick with, because like the next reader mentions, it's a lifelong journey. And if you're thinking that sooner or later you're going to be able to drink again or you're going to be able to use again, then you need to go back to step one, and you need to understand that your life's become unmanageable because of that use, and you got to get rid of those reservations. So next question, she mentions recovery is a lifelong journey. Have you had low periods where you think about drugs, or have you been able to cope? So I've only been on home confinement, and I've been living with my mom, and I haven't had a lot of exposure to tempting situations. I'm getting ready to go start working, and obviously more temptation is going to come into my life when I start meeting new people, when I start getting more privileges, and I think that's going to be the true test. But for right now, I haven't had a whole lot of urges. There's been a couple times where things were just not going right. Something pissed me off. And yeah, the old Noah would have loved to just crack open a beer or make a mixed drink and deal with it that way and cope with it that way. So my new ways of coping is either talking to my mom, who I live with, talking to my brother, my sister. They're always a phone call away. My sponsor, Ray, is always a phone call away. He's been awesome. I meet with him weekly. We talk on the phone multiple times a week. There's so many people from my program that have reached out through my siblings, through other family members, through online, and have created this web of support. My next door neighbor, Joe, I can always, call over to him, and he'll be over in 2 seconds. And that's what the program's about, is having people in your life to help you cope with those hard times, so you don't go have that drink. If you're feeling like having that drink, call somebody. And that's what my sponsor said to me is, if you're thinking about having a girl over that you shouldn't have over, if you're thinking about using, call somebody first. It doesn't have to be me. Just call somebody and let them have the opportunity to talk you out of it. That's it. So how do I cope? I call somebody. Next question. I have a family member who is a recovering alcoholic, and I'm curious if low points still make you crave the addiction, or if you just feel down and struggle in other ways. Low points, of course. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. It is these low points where you become most vulnerable. Whether it's something's not going right in your life, whether it's something's just pissing you off in the moment, and the old saying is, she drove me to drink. Well, you need to start you need to start being accountable for your actions first, and realize, okay, nobody's drove you to drink. You yourself have drove yourself to drink because of your expectations around certain situations. So if you're struggling with in the here and now, in these low points, you obviously mismanaged your expectations about a certain situation. I mismanaged my expectations about my prison release and what it was going to be like. I thought it was going to be, I'm free to do whatever I want. I can start hanging out with buddies. I can start going to movies. I can hit the gym whenever I want. I can start working for my sister immediately. And my relationship with my daughter is going to be amazing. And a lot of those things didn't happen. Actually, pretty much every one of them didn't happen. And that was my fault for mismanaging those expectations. But what did I do? I reached out to somebody. They, showed me. The old saying is, turn the mirror on you and you have to look at yourself. And that's what the program does. So you're going to hear me go back to working a program. And if you're not working a program, you don't have that safeguard to help you out in these low times. So, there's so many things you can do during these low points. You can go to a meeting, you can lean on your sponsor, you can lean on your family members, you can read something motivated, you can jump online and watch something that motivates you to lift you out. My old sponsor, Dennis Cockerham, one of our contributing writers at Resilience to Reform, always tells me, feelings follow action. If you want to do something, if you want to feel good, then do something that makes you feel good. It's that simple. If you want to keep feeling the way you're feeling, then just sit right where you're at and just bathe in it and just hate yourself, hate life, continue to struggle. And yes, sooner or later, you're going to relapse if you keep allowing yourself to live in that environment. So I hope I answered your question there. Next one, from what I understand, Operation Noah's Ark was a pretty decent sized operation. Have you talked to anyone from the group? I'm not allowed to speak with my co-defendants while I'm on home confinement. I'm not sure about probation. Probation, you are allowed to associate with other felons. It is, you're allowed to associate with other felons. However, you have to run it by your probation officer. So while I'm on home confinement, I'm still in BOP custody. I cannot talk to any felon. So especially my co-defendants. And actually, when I got out, one of my co-defendants reached out to me. And I told him, hey, I'll talk to you in March because that's when I'm off home confinement. And he got mad. But, if he can't respect the fact that I'm trying to stay out of trouble, then I don't need him in my life. I hope he comes back around because it is a person who I love and I respect and I want to continue have a relationship with. But he, if that relationship is meant to be, then he will come back around in due time. So that's something else your program will teach you is just do the right thing and everything else will fall into place. If people are pushed out of your life because you are doing the right thing, then they weren't meant to be in your life. It's that simple. Last question. Does anyone else from your group have a timeline similar to yours of reform? So I don't really know because I don't talk to them. I do talk to a couple of family members of my old friends and co-defendants and we don't really talk about them, but we do, they've reached out to me and just said how great of a job I'm doing and just letting me know that they still support me. And even though the way things turned out the way they did, it was all God's plan and that, even though a bunch of us went to prison, that's what needed to happen in order for us to change our mindset, in order for us to be pulled out from that life of addiction. It sucks that it turned out the way it did, but that's life. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I did a better job than I did in my initial videos. I know the picture quality is better and yeah. So usually I'm outside, but right now we got some roofers next door. So as soon as I walked outside to start getting set up, there was just boom, boom, boom. They're banging away, pounding nails into the roof. So I decided, instead of you guys hearing that the whole time, if you still hear it, I apologize, but I hope you guys liked it. If you want me to keep doing these Q&As, I'm going to keep doing these Q&As. I'm going to keep putting myself out there, and as long as there's positive feedback and as long as there's you, the reader, who's willing to participate and ask questions, I'm willing to answer them. Appreciate you guys. One day at a time. Keep going strong.